Hello everyone, welcome to this Google Partners Hangout on Air. Today we're going to talk about attribution and measurement. So my name is Sari, I work here in our Dublin office in sales for the Finnish market, and with me is Michelle.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle. I'm from Stockholm, from Sweden, and I've worked at Google for 2.5 years, and I'm in the same team as Sari.
Right, so attribution and measurement is the topic for today. We're going to go through some different reports and features related to this. So this will be the last hangout of the year, but we'll be coming back next year with some new content. Right, so let's go through the agenda first. So we're going to cover today what is attribution reporting, why it's important, and how you get started.
Cool. First, let's just check out some of the latest product updates. Right, so we have a new feature called automated bidding for cross-device conversions. As you may know, 90% of consumers start an activity on one device and finish it on another. This makes it really hard to track the conversion. So we already have some cross-device tracking with manual bidding in AdWords, but the automated bidding ability is completely new. It basically gives you real-time insights to maximize your conversions on different devices, looking at user behaviors and a lot of different signals, and therefore it helps you to maximize return on investment from your campaigns. So it's really easy to set up. You just go to the tool sections in the AdWords interface and click on conversions. After that, you click on settings and set the bid metric to conversions. Click the include advanced conversions box to start optimizing for cross-device conversions. If you then want to see it in the campaign task, you need to add the extra columns for this. Right, so let's get started with attribution reporting and modeling and see. And actually, before we dive into the nitty-gritty, let's go through the attribution reporting to see what it actually means and why it's important to you. So attribution reporting offers you an opportunity to identify ways of reaching your customers earlier in the purchasing funnel. You can see this on the screen. This is important especially on mobile devices where media influence can be a lot stronger than you think. Although customers rarely complete a purchase straight after seeing an image ad, for example, upper funnel channels such as display, YouTube, and generic search can still be really important in driving potential customers to choose you over your competitor. Let's try and visualize this. As you see in this consumer journey, a customer can receive the marketing message through many different channels, such as blogs, Facebook, YouTube, or even by searching. This can sometimes make it a little bit hard for advertisers to know where to put their money. That's why it's really important to use the data-driven insights to defend or pitch a greater investment in a certain channel. This is the first step in choosing, the first step is to choose an attribution model that works for you. So these are the most common attribution models. I'll go through each and every one of them now. So a last click model would assign all the credit of the purchase to the last touch point with the customer. So if the customer searched by brand, clicked the search ad, and then made a purchase, the purchase would be attributed to the search ad that the customer clicked. However, we all know it's hard to win the last interaction unless you're there to compete for the first. By contrast, a first click model would attribute the purchase to the first interaction. So if we look at the previous customer journey, the purchase would be credited to the image ad that the customer saw on the fashion blog. A linear attribution model assigns the credit equally across all the touch points leading to the conversion, implying that the different efforts contributed equally to the purchase. That was the linear attribution. A time decay attribution model assigns credits weighted most heavily on touch points occurring closest in time to the purchase. A position-based model assigns a specific weight to the first and last interaction, and the remaining credit is distributed equally to the middle interactions. So as you can see, there's quite a few different ones, and you can even have customized ones. But let's have a quick look to see how to determine when to use which one. So it really depends on your growth strategy. Alas, the first click model might suit a bit of a more conservative growth strategy where you aim to convert more of your existing customers. A position-based one, on the other hand, could be more suitable if you have an aggressive growth strategy where you aim to drive a lot of brand awareness. Using an attribution model that assigns credit to all the touch points allows you to have an increased awareness throughout the entire sales cycle. I think what's really important here to note is that there's no such thing as one right model. It kind of depends on your own strategy. So that's great. Now we know a little bit about the different models, but let's have a look to see why this is so important. Well, attribution reporting really allows you to identify opportunities to influence your customers earlier in the purchasing funnel. It also allows you to better acquire and retain customers. I think the easiest way to look at this is through an example. So let's have a look at SellPoints. SellPoints is an e-commerce channel solution from California. It was founded in 2000. This company had initially measured their AdWords performance through last click, but they later found out that 40% of their conversions on branded terms had actually started on non-branded, so quite generic interactions. While the last click model reported that their display CPA was actually a lot higher than their target, other models show that their display CPA actually outperformed their target completely. So this led them to improve their display reporting and refine their marketing spend to actually double their non-branded search and triple their display performance. So as you can see, choosing the right model can have quite a big difference.
Okay, so let's move on to how we attribute and measure sales. So we're going to first go through how we do this in AdWords, and then we move on to Google Analytics. So in AdWords, we can determine how campaigns, ad group, and keywords are assisting or causing conversions by looking at attribution reports. This also answers to the question why some keywords are producing more conversions than others. For example, branded keywords might be driving a lot more conversion than generic ones. However, it's important to note that AdWords attribution only contains data from search campaigns and not on Google Display Network or Google Search Partners. Okay, so let's have a look at an example of customer conversion funnel. So we know that customers are likely to interact with different campaigns before they convert. So for example, in here, we can see that the customer first looked for great tech gifts. So they clicked on the ad, didn't purchase, but later did another more specific search. So later on, the client returns with a clear product in mind, searches again with this term and makes a purchase. So by default, AdWords gives credit to last keyword before the conversion. So in this example, it means that Nexus 7 tablet will get the full credit, whilst keywords contributing to the conversion path are completely ignored. So if you're not looking at the whole picture, this might result in advertiser only focusing on the last keyword, even though in fact it might be the first one that is providing more value. So let's have a look how this looks like in AdWords. So under Tools, in your AdWords interface, we can find attribution modeling. So in here, as you can see on the right, kind of circled in red, we can select from 5 different attribution models that Michelle described earlier. So we can also choose whether we want to see comparison all the way to the keyword level, as well as if it's a change in conversions or change in cost per conversion we want to look at. So basically, we can see if a specific keyword contributes more as a first click rather than last click, and how different attribution models impact on keywords. Right, so another report we have on attribution in AdWords is the assisted conversions report. So here we can see what keywords are most upper funnel, meaning that they probably affect early in the customer purchase journey. So these keywords are most likely to be undervalued by the client, as these are overlooked by AdWords last click model. So you should look at both click and impression assists to determine whether these keywords are actually offering significant value, and then adjust your bids accordingly. So moving on to the top paths report. So in here, you can see what are customers' most common paths. So for example, we might know that certain search campaigns are assisting more conversions and starting the customer purchase journey rather than closing it. So from here, we could see patterns, for example, that customer is looking for reviews after their first research. So after we have this data and this information, we can use this to make our keywords and campaigns better work together. And then finally, for a quick overview on how your campaigns and keywords are assisting, you can add an attribution columns to your report. So this gives you sort of an easy overview of the situation. Right, let's have a look at how we can see signal reports on Google Analytics. Okay, so whilst the AdWords report itself data from search campaigns only, Google Analytics paints sort of a bigger picture and includes data from all channels, including Google Display Network, which is available through AdWords. It should, however, be noted that Google Analytics attribution is only based on clicks, and that views and impressions are still in beta. Let's see. Okay, so what can we see in Google Analytics? So here you can see multi-channel funnel reports. So these reports tell us what is happening with different channels. So for example, we are able to get an overview of conversions and assisted conversions, as well as top conversion paths. So we can also see the time lag and the backlink, which can help us determine what kind of remarketing strategies we want to make. This also helps us to compare attribution models, like we did so in AdWords previously. So let's have a look at a conversion path above. So when we are using a standard attribution model, what do you think? So what channels will be attributed to the conversion? So if you're looking at these different channels. So the answer is that 100% of the conversion value is actually attributed to the last channel, with the exception of direct channel being ignored. And what this does, it means that all the other channels will be sort of ignored except the last ones, which really doesn't tell us the full story of the conversion path. So if we want to compare how these different channels are contributing along the purchase path, we can look at the model comparison tool. So this is similar to what we looked at in AdWords, with the exception that it will show us all the channels. So in AdWords, we just saw the search ones. So here we can compare how different attribution models impact the valuation of different marketing channels. So a channel that usually initiates conversion path, like say display, will have a higher conversion value according to the first interaction attribution model than it would according to the last interaction attribution model. So I would just suggest to play around with these models and look what kind of changes we see. Okay, so here we can see the assisted conversions report. So this we can find under the multi-channel funnels. And from here, we get a good overview what channels are assisting and what channels are closing conversions. So you can also see the assist ratio here, so on the right-hand side. So the higher the assist ratio is, the more this channel is assisting conversions. So, for example, here we can see that whilst this video closed over 32 conversions, it assisted in over 900 conversions. So if you're only looking at the last clicks, then you would say, okay, this video isn't really having an impact, which in fact is not true based on this report. So basically, from this, we are going to get a picture that looks like this. So we see that display, which has a high assist ratio, drives upper funnel. It cannot be measured against last click. So here you might actually want to consider bidding higher on the channels which sort of have high assist ratios to increase assisted conversion opportunities. So basically to get more sales. That. Right. So we went through a few reports, and here you can see what actions you can base on all of this. So now we understand what implications of the standard attribution model has. So we can focus on three things.
Yeah, so first off, we can optimize our bidding and budget to reward all of the important touch points in the consumer journey. Secondly, we can cut back exposure or just adjust messaging in low value ads. Thirdly, we can also boost exposure on campaigns that are bringing us new customers, which is great. Cool. I think that was pretty much it from us on attributions. See if we have just a little reminder here to check out the partners website. It's google.com/partners. They can check out all the latest trainings that we have, further insights, promotions, and to get certified and so forth. It's a really cool portal.
Yeah. And as we said, this is the last hangout of the year, but next year we'll be back with a bit different content on product updates and all that. So stay tuned and follow the G+.
Cool.
Right.
Awesome. Let's check and see if we have any questions before we hang out. No questions. That's awesome. Probably because we were so clear and concise.
Exactly.
Awesome. Cool.
Right.
Well,
so
thank you guys.
Thank you.
And Merry